Hello everyone and welcome back. As some of you may know, in Canada and I guess around the world there are propane exchange programs whereby you bring in your used tank that's empty or near empty of propane and you exchange it for one that's full. But in doing so, sometimes you may be bringing in a tank that may have a pound or two or more of fuel that you're not actually ever going to be able to use again, and so that kind of benefits the person that's refilling the tank because that's less fuel they have to use. So propane basically in a tank, in a storage tank is going to be great. It doesn't expire, so it can just go on forever. So each time they fill a tank, they're actually making money on the tank by that extra pound or two of fuel that you don't have the ability to take out of the tank. But I'm going to show you how you can. I've taken a small 1 pound cylinder and I chilled it. There it is here. It's an old tank. It's probably about 10% of fuel left in this one, of course. So I'm going to fill it up, basically. So what I've done, I've purchased a coupler that you can get online, and as you can see it's on the bottom here now. The valve is off. You're going to want goggles and safety glasses for this procedure. So here is the adapter. It basically goes into the main tank, and it has the section for the other tank to tie into here, such as like this, just like that. So now I'm going to put on my gloves, and safety glasses are already on my head just to put them down. And I'm going to install this tank, the smaller tank, and transfer fuel from the big one to the small one. The tank here that I'm taking fuel out of is also about 10% left. It's pretty well expired, and anytime now, if I was barbecuing, I could end up with a fuel. Goggles on, glasses on, and we have both attachments secure. We're going to tip the tank slightly and open the valve and start transferring fuel from the big tank to the small. As you can hear, there's a sizzling going on. Fuel exchange. Again, the tank, this here cylinder needs to be cold. And this big tank needs to be inverted so that the liquid is actually on the bottom and it's transferring into the smaller tank. That might take up to a minute. It's pretty quiet, but I can still hear some propane movement between the two tanks. So again, this tank that you're transferring from, it needs to be inverted so that you have all your liquid fuel down to the nozzle. And when you open it up, of course, it flows into the smaller storage tank here, the propane tank. Still sizzling. We'll let it go a little while longer. I'm not interested in having too full of a tank. I have two here that are pretty well down to about 10%, but I have other tanks here that are nearly full or full. I usually keep 4 or 5 of these for different things like doing some plumbing or heating up things, metals and stuff like that. Anyway, it's down to a bare minimum now of sizzle, the fuel transferring. We're going to stop now because I don't want to make the video too long. We're going to shut off the valve, the main valve on the big tank. Again with safety glasses and your gloves on. And you remove it. Remember the sizzle there. Push that in place. And yes, and now we have, that container is about, I'm going to guess, 3/4 full. And we put the cap on it here, on the top, and we're going to store this for later use. Anyway, that's how you can transfer fuel before you return your tanks for exchange. Of course, the more pressure you have in the big tank, probably the faster and the more tanks you're going to be, the more of these smaller tanks you'll be able to transfer over to. When you get down to the bare minimum, if you're down to like 1/4 pound, this here is only a pound. You're probably looking at very little transfer at that point. So The more fuel you have that you want to store before you get rid of the tank, it's more to your benefit. Thanks for watching.